It came with a spinach souffle. Those who love Stouffers know that that's a deep cut. That spinach souffle is so good. This is not about the spinach souffle though, it's about the mac and cheese. Hi, I'm Eric Kim. I'm a cooking writer for the New York Times food section. Today I'm making a Stouffer style creamy mac and cheese. If you've ever had Stouffer's mac and cheese, the wonder of it is that it stays creamy, and as you're scooping it, it's still gooey. It's not runny, but it's not a hard set either. Nothing wrong with those mac and cheeses. I like those too, but this mac and cheese is very, very, very creamy, and that's what's special about it. I think the question might be like, why am I trying to recreate this specific style of macaroni and cheese? For me, it does come from a pretty emotional, personal place, which is just that I grew up eating this, and I think it was always my idea of what a mac and cheese should be. I think what makes a Stouffer style mac and cheese really special and different from the regular baked mac and cheeses or even a stovetop mac is that it kind of exists somewhere in this notional territory between the two. So it's creamy and it stays creamy, but it's also baked. It's a little baked at the edges, and so you get the best of both worlds, I think. And let me tell you, this is not easy to achieve. I have to give credit to my food stylist friend, Jesse Shevchik. I had baked maybe 10 mac and cheeses that day and was losing my mind, and I was like, they're all splitting. My friend Jesse was like, well, food stylists use sodium citrate to stabilize a mixture like that. So what we're gonna do is shred a bunch of cheddar and a little bit of pecorino romano, but the key to keeping that voluptuous creaminess even after the oven is Velveeta. That creaminess comes scientifically from an ingredient in this product, which is sodium citrate. I'm gonna start grating the cheeses. I have a cheddar here. You want a young creamy cheese. Get an orange cheddar, or not. It really doesn't matter. For me, it's really just we're calling that yellow Stouffer's cheese. Oh my God, there's so much that, yeah. This is a pound of cheddar. It's my favorite dish in the Thanksgiving menu. I wonder if cooks can relate to this. If you are in charge of the Thanksgiving, you tend to let other people's favorite dishes, take up more space in the cooking time. And so this year was about making time for myself. The Velveeta, it's so soft anyway, you can't really grate it, so you should just tear it with your fingers. People always say this, but if you're cooking with kids, this really is the moment where you just make the kids do the labor. I like to boil the pasta and then drain it and use the same pot to make my sauce. I won't call this a one pot whatever, but it's just, I think it's easy like that. So I have a pot of boiling water here, and I'm gonna salt it pretty heavily. You really do want your pasta to be well seasoned. I'm using a cavatappi. I love this shape, I love this texture. I don't know about you guys, but regular elbow macaroni from the box, it's never cooks up as big as a mac and cheese that you would get from a Stouffer's box. When this cooks up, it'll be really plump and luscious and curly. Another thing that really helps you with your creaminess is making sure that your pasta is cooked all the way. It's plump enough and it won't soak up as much sauce, and your end result will stay creamy. The next step is to cut each one in half. Just kidding. Just kidding. Perfect. This is perfect because now I'm gonna go and work on some other stuff, but this is drying out right now, which I think is really important, so there's no water in your mac and cheese. Now we're gonna make the sauce. We start with a stick of butter over medium heat. You're not browning the butter. You are just letting it go until it sort of quiets down and stops sputtering. So you will hear when it's ready. Okay, that's nice and foamy. Quiet. So now I'm gonna add the flour. This is half a cup of flour. And you're just cooking this until it's smooth for a minute. That looks good. I'm gonna add the milk now. And that's just gonna bubble up and thicken a little bit. This will take about 2 to 5 minutes once it comes up to a bubble. So there's a funny story, the Stouffer's people told me that a lot of people don't realize that their family mac and cheese is Stouffer's. That was so funny. When you get that family style one, if you know, you know, it comes in that aluminum tray, and so it kind of looks like a church potluck dish, but it's actually something that you got from that freezer aisle. Came to a simmer, reducing it a little bit, keep it at the simmer. I think that's pretty good. Lightly coating the back of the spoon. I would say that's lightly coating. This is ready. I'm gonna turn it off. I really want this to be off the heat when I add the cheese. Velveeta first. Oop. All that cheese we grated. This will seem like way too much sauce, but again, like noodles are sponges, and what makes a Stouffer's mac is all the sauce. So I have some onion powder, dry mustard powder, and a pinch of cayenne. Thanksgiving was a really special holiday in my family because it was the time when the parents kind of sat back, and it was the time when the kids got into the kitchen and made the entire dinner. You know, Korean kids, children of immigrants, we wanted this food that we were seeing in all our coloring books and at school and on TV. The Stouffer's mac and cheese was the one thing that we didn't have to cook from scratch because it was already perfect, you know? Perfect. With that said, as an adult, I wanted to recreate it in my kitchen, and I think it's like fun to, as a cook, to figure out why something tastes the way it does. You could just serve it like this, actually. It'd be really delicious. But we're gonna finish it off in the oven. Whoa. Keep in mind, this is feeding a crowd. There's like this extra sauce on the bottom that I'm gonna spatula out, and I want to pour that in there. And this just goes in the oven for 15 minutes. That's it, 350 degrees. You're not gonna see like that crusty edge browning. If you want that, you can. It's just a really creamy mac and cheese. That's like what I'm after. It's the texture that I want. I eat it with a spoon, not with a fork. Ooh, yeah. See that? I just love how saucy that is. Can you see that? I'm really happy with this. This is exactly what I wanted. It's so good. It's super comforting and saucy, and it's just so exactly what I think of as the platonic ideal of mac and cheese. Your family's mac and cheese might be different. My family's came from a box, and that's still special to me. You guys want to try some?